morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to talk about the first official reveals from Prismatic Evolutions. Some of the cards have gone and been shown off, and I, for one, am very happy about this. And the first card that got revealed actually snuck out without me even realising. It was Eevee. They have gone and officially confirmed that we are getting a reprint of the Surging Sparks Eevee. And it is, to be clear, a straight reprint of the Surging Sparks Eevee. There is a difference in the bottom left-hand corner. It's got the Prismatic Evolutions, confirmation that the code for the set is PRE, and it's number 74 out of 131. So we have confirmation of that, which is lovely. But in terms of the card, it's exactly the same one that came around in Surging Sparks. But then again, it should be. Because the one that came around in Surging Sparks is awesome. It's got that ability whereby, if it's active, you can evolve it whenever you like. Turn 1, you can evolve it. Only just played it this turn, you can evolve it. Doesn't matter when it was played. As long as it's active, it is eligible to be evolved. And that's a good thing. Because we know we're getting a bunch of Eevees that are coming around in Prismatic Evolutions. It's kind of the theme of the set. And we know that the majority of them have really nice attacks for one coloured and one colourless energy. So all we need to do here is just attach your Sparkling Crystal as your tool of choice. And then attach a single energy. And then evolve up this Eevee, which you're allowed to do, and then you've got those turn 1 attacks going second. It's like legitimately awesome. Now, we've got things like Glass Trumpet, which can accelerate energy, which is actually really helpful, but it is a combination of Sparkling Crystal, which if you're playing an Eevee deck is going to be your A-spec of choice. It is over in Japan right now, the list that I'm seeing, and it kind of has to be, honestly. But if you're playing this Eevee deck, you can now go Sparkling Crystal, evolve with Eevee, and now all of a sudden all of these 2 energy attacks on a stage 1 are turn 1 attacks going second. That's genuinely brilliant. Huge fan of this. So yeah, it's just a straight reprint. We don't need this card, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be welcome. As a side note, this card was also revealed a second time, because of course, remember, it is going to be our 2-pack blister promo, coming out just in advance of Pokemon Day with a Pokemon Day stamp. And also worth noting, of course, that also has the set name and number and all of that on there as well. So yay! Good times. In terms of actual new cards, they've gone and revealed Larry's Skill. I love Larry's Skill. We've been using the Japanese translation, Larry's Professionalism. Shout out to lovely Antoine Boulet for using that, and frankly, Antoine's really good at this stuff. There's a reason I've been relying on Antoine's translations and help with translations for a while now. But we know in English it is now called Larry's Skill. This is actually a brand new, mechanically unique card coming around in the set, and there aren't that many of them. In terms of brand new, mechanically unique cards, Prismatic Evolutions isn't overflowing, but it has got some. And Larry's Skill does have a full art as well. There wasn't a special illustration rare over in Japan, so technically it could have one, but that would be a huge upset at this point. And what we got here is, firstly, a ridiculous full art that I must have in my life, because look at it. And secondly, it's a really, really interesting supporter card. You discard your entire hand. That's a downside. That's not ideal. But you then search your deck for a Pokemon, and a supporter card, and a basic energy, and whack them in your hand. So basically, you give up your entire hand, bearing in mind your hand could be 0 cards. Even if you've got no cards in hand, that is still a hand of 0 cards. So yes, this will work if you've got no cards in hand. We don't need a ruling. This has been the case for a long time now. And then you get yourself the Pokemon you need for this turn, the energy you need for this turn, and a supporter card to get you ready and off and rolling next turn. And you know what? You add that all up, ladies and gentlemen, that could be kind of good. I'm not saying Larry's skill is going to be some kind of like uber staple in every deck or the best supporter card in the game or anything like that, because I don't think it is. I don't think it's that good of a card. I do, however, think there will definitely be some decks that take advantage of this. There will be some decks that can use this very nicely and just get themselves absolutely rolling. I think it's more of a 1 or 2 of tech to search out at the right time, rather than a 4 of build your deck around it. But I'm telling you right now, Larry's professionalism, or Larry's skill, it's Larry's skill in English. There we go. And the problem is I've been calling it Larry's professionalism for weeks now. It is definitely Larry's skill. There is a lot to like here. But they've also gone and revealed the big one. The biggest card in the set, the most sought-after card in the set, the most valuable card in the set, except maybe the Master Ball Umbreon. We have got what is being dubbed Sunbreon, because there's a big sun in the art, and of course, we had the Umbreon V Max alternate art in Evolving Skies, which has been dubbed Moonbreon. So of course, hey, now we got Moonbreon and Sunbreon. I'm a little ill at the moment, and I'm a little bit cynical generally. I'm not sure I'm loving the nickname Sunbreon, but I don't really think the community is going to change their mind at this point. It seems like Sunbreon is absolutely here to stay. So cool. And this is actually another brand new mechanically unique card, but that's not the big thing about Umbreon. It's Umbreon, the most popular of the Evolutions. It is a special illustration rare. It is a phenomenal looking card. I did not, unfortunately, pull this from my Japanese boxes, but I did pull 2 Evolutions. I cannot complain, but it is a great card. This is the big card in the set. When you're opening your packs to Prismatic Evolutions starting in January, this is going to be the card you're hoping to pull. Awesome. And what we've got here is an interesting card, but actually it's one of very few Evolutions here where it doesn't have a single colored energy, single colorless energy attack. It can't do that. It's Darkness 2 colorless 160 plus Confusion. Yes, you can do this with double turbo energy and Sparkling Crystal. That is possible. But firstly, it means you're using double turbo to reduce your damage output by 20. And secondly, it means you've got to find your special energy and your A-Spec turn 1. And at that point, it just becomes a much more awkward proposition. What I love about Umbreon is the attack Onyx, Lightning, Psychic, Darkness. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. Take a prize card. It's absurd. It's absurdly good. It's a ridiculous skill. And yes, I know it's 3 different types of energy. Yes, I know you have to discard them all to use them. I understand all of this. But I just think the amount of potential we've got in this attack is so high that I'm honestly kind of cool with it. It's one that I've got my eye on as a playable card, as well as, you know, the whole Sunbreon thing. Might as well accept it. It's going to happen. The other card that has been revealed is one that a lot of people are going to get very, very excited about. It is Palafin EX, because the artist, of course, is Tetsuo Hara, and Tetsuo Hara is the artist behind Fist of the North Star. Yeah. So that's kind of a big deal, right? And again, the fact that they've done a Palafin punching loads and then had it illustrated by the artist who did Fist of the North Star. It's just beautiful and lovely and very appropriate, and it just makes me happy, all right? I think this is wonderful. It's also kind of cool because we never got a special illustration rare Palafin before. When it was released first time round, we never got a special illustration rare. So it's a way of Pokemon to kind of catch up, so to speak. Give some love to a Pokemon that could have had a special illustration rare last time, but missed out. So cool. It's not a brand new mechanically unique card like the Umbreon or like Larry. It is just a reprint of the Palafin we've already had, but with phenomenal artwork. And I still think there is a lot of potential in this Palafin. I have got my eye on this Palafin, because you look at it, right? And it's got 340 HP as a stage 1, which is monumentally high. And it's got an attack for a single energy that does 250 on a stage 1. These are stage 2 stats on a stage 1 Pokemon. Now, the downside, of course, is that it can only be put into play with the effect of Palafin's Zero to Hero ability. So it's very much a case of we're making it basically broken, but then we're making it really annoying to get into play to balance it out. I see what they're doing. Palafin's Zero to Hero ability, of course, we're talking about the one from Twilight Masquerade, and basically when it moves from the active to the bench, you can swap it with a Palafin EX in your deck. It's really good, but it's super awkward, and that's essentially where we go here. I love the card, and I still think there's a huge amount of potential. I haven't been able to get a working list. I've tested it and found it's not quite consistent enough, and it's not perfect, but you look at the HP and you look at the damage, and it's so enticing. And now we got this wonderful artwork by the dude who drew Fist of the North Star, and I'm just saying, maybe it's Palafin's time. Although I would like a petition, please, to change the name of Palafin to Dolphun, because that amuses me. For now, I want to know what you think about these new cards. I want to know how excited you are for Prismatic Evolutions. I want to know anything you want to tell me, so let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's literally been supporting the channel since it was just a podcast back in 2012, and has always been a very lovely person to me. So shout out to Martin for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.